Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Rise of Industry 2130. 2130 is a DLC that you can purchase on Steam for about 10 bucks or so. It's essentially a total conversion mod, basically retheming everything. As far as I can tell, the gameplay is almost exactly the same. If you know where the menus are, if you're familiar with the resource chaining and the warehouses and all that jazz, then you'll be able to play this without any sort of problem. It's just got a different vibe. This 2130 expansion is set in a very futuristic, doomed environment, smog everywhere, that kind of thing. So in order to access that, there's a button on the very bottom of the main menu of Rise of Industry. It says switch to 2130. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And there we go. So as you can see, everything's the same. There's a career mode, scenarios, sandbox, tutorial, mod managers, video guide, should you want to check that out. For those of you tuning in for the first time, I'll blow through the settings really quick. If you guys want to see this in greater detail, just pause the video. So there's interface, UI scale, income pop-ups, help, minimal money, that kind of thing. Gameplay, autosave intervals, skip intro, auto wait till full, seasons, graphics, full screen resolution, theme, shadow filters, VSync, anti-aliasing. Audio, master volume, effects, music, ambience, UI volume. Controls, I use the mouse and keyboard, nothing too fancy there. Edge scrolling. And then lastly, key bindings. Like I said, pause the video if you want to see this in greater detail. I kind of just quickly went through that because I've covered this game many times before. And like I said, this DLC seems more of just a retheme. So what I'm going to do is pick up where I left off. Before I do that, I guess I should check out New Game and show you what you can do to create a new game. Clicking on New Game will allow you to choose your seed or just randomly generate one. Town name generator, AI players, you can choose between none to few to many. There's map size, road orientation, assistant, moving on to terrain settings like river curvature, resource amounts, lakes, smoothing, coastal roughness. Moving on, difficulty settings, presets up here, then you can adjust these at random, or as you will. Pollution intensity, terraforming, upkeep, event difficulty, and so on. Again, very similar to the original Rise of Industry game. And I like that. I do like the fact that you can customize your campaign almost any way you wish to. So I'm going to go ahead and load up what I was doing off camera just now. I've been playing for about half an hour, 45 minutes, just getting my feet wet again. I will say that starting off in this DLC is a little more difficult than Rise of Industry's core game, just because there's a lot of unfamiliar buildings. It takes some time to get used to all the new things. Like, you don't have the farms anymore. Well, at least not the farms that you remember. You're not going to be raising cattle anymore, or growing fruit, or whatever, and then refining that into juice. No, you're not doing that. As you can see, everything's sort of run down, all crapped out. You're going to be building these ruin scavengers and these harvesters to collect metal, scrap from these areas here. And that metal can be refined in a number of different ways. Another resource is thorium. Thorium is just a mineral sticking out of the ground that you can mine, turn it into things. You've got titanium over here. Same deal with that. If I zoom out, you can see that the map looks the same. There's cities sort of scattered around the map. There's also some gold here. I saw some gold up here somewhere. Yep, over here to the right. You still have these boundaries that you have to work with. Whenever you start off with a new map, you choose where to put your headquarters. And you have to kind of work within that region until you gain licenses to unlock other regions. So yeah, you're just going to be observing these lines here, like the little blue lines and the green squiggly lines that will separate the regions. And then you can buy what you need to, licenses to actually access these other places. So here's a quick look at, like, this is what a city now looks like in 2130. I can still click on it. I can still toggle through the various things. Assorted goods and parts shop, click on that, and you can see what it requests, what the demand is, how many it goes through, that kind of thing. I don't want to delve too deeply into the gameplay, because if you've played Rise of Industry, then you'll be familiar with this already. But to suffice it to say, for newcomers, This game is similar to Industry Giant in the sense that you mine out resources, you create production chains, and if you want to, you can just sell, assuming the city allows it, you can just sell raw materials to the city and be done with it. You don't have to refine the metals or whatever into finished products. There are some cities that will accept the raw materials as is. See if I can find an example here. Overview, assorted goods. So yeah, this new New York will accept titanium. So all I have to do, if I wanted to, I can put this titanium mine down, mine it out, set up a production chain, ship it to New York, and boom, I'm hopefully making money doing that. But if you don't want to do that, you want to refine that and possibly get more money, you can do that. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've got titanium here, and I've got 2 different warehouses set up to accept that titanium. So here's, I can rename them to Titanium 2 and Titanium. If I want to get funny or just fancy, I am titanium. Whatever, you can do what you want. But you can, I just like to name the warehouses and the factories after what I'm importing or what I'm making at these locations. So I've got 2 of these factories going per warehouse. So I've got titanium coming in here, and then titanium is shipping off to these 2 factories. And if I open up these windows, lots of stuff going on. I am creating, under production, here we go, titanium struts. And that's what I've named these factories, titanium struts. So I'm making titanium struts here, and I'm shipping those off to New York for a much higher price than I would just shipping off titanium to New York. So I'm doing that. Same thing here. I'm creating titanium. I'm also exporting that titanium to this warehouse. I've got titanium cases, which I'm also exporting to New York and selling it for a good price there. And then over here, I've got thorium, something similar going up here. I've got a warehouse accepting thorium. Again, I named it thorium so I wouldn't forget. Then I've got thorium rods, just 1 and 2 here. And I'm shipping those thorium rods off to New York to fetch me a good price. I've got ruin scavengers collecting metal. That's going to this steel warehouse here and this steel warehouse down here. Steel struts for the one and steel cases for the other 2. And all of those items are being shipped to New York, again, for a price. And you can see your income on the bottom left-hand corner. Green is normally good. The number in the middle is what I currently have in my bank, 8.74 million. So yeah, let me just quickly show you the tech tree, as that's a good indication as to all the different products that are new to this particular DLC. And like Rise of Industry, you'll start with 3 free techs that you can choose. And then from there, researching these will take time and money to do. So the first one is bio, and under bio you've got medical and food processing. So you'll be able to create cultivation farms and create like hyperbacterial cultures, microbial cultures, and the K1LL-411 virus culture. So you can create these, refine them as antiviral solutions, regenerative solutions, antibacterial solutions, pills, regen gel, and so on. Under food processing, there's cellulose algae and primordial algae, and you can refine that into energy-rich tissue, lean protein tissue, carbose tissue, high fiber tissue, concentrated vitamins, and so on, bio-LEDs, worker meal bar, and complete meal paste. Under light industry, I've shown you some of this already. Titanium cases. These are my first 3 unlocks for this map because, again, you just click on the city that you're near, that you put your headquarters near, and you take a look at their stores and you say, okay, this is what they want, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock the text for that and start from there to make some money. It's typical. But I could unlock other things, superconductors. I can unlock nuclear power cells and blue gamma lasers and so on. Robotics, same deal. There's the titanium struts and the steel struts that I was talking about earlier. That's what I'm currently making and shipping to New York. I could make things like auxiliary arm attachments and collector bots and medibots and heavy construction bots and so on. Then heavy industry things. You've got like polymers, silica, Tholen gel, biomemory cells, neural connectors, thermoplastics. Again, just a reskin. You're not dealing with farms anymore, at least not the conventional farms. Now it's all bacteria and metal and cyberpunky. Advanced components, things like neural interfaces, quantum matrix theta raw processors, laser control system. Prototypes, I believe, I don't know if this is the endgame content or not, but this thing looks to be pretty crazy. It's the Replicator 5000, only one thing. Total cost is 5.6 million to research it. Just alone, that's pretty impressive. So, and the original Rise of Industry game, you basically, I think, had to make cars, and I think you could make something else. I don't know if it was like computers, I don't remember. Auxiliary stuff is still there. This allows you to upgrade your roads or add more collectors to your existing one. Like you can put your main building down, and then you put the sub collectors around it to collect the things. Here, the land harvesters, you can add more land harvesters to your main collector so that you can collect more things. Logistics, again, upgrade roads or build tunnels and bridges. Factory storage. Basic distribution, you still have your warehouses, and you can upgrade those truck capacity, collection tile radius, warehouse storage, destination slots. Advanced distribution, things like maglev terminals, capacity, dropship fields, bulker capacity. Those are the different modes of transportation besides roads in the game. And then efficiency, again, you can overclock or underclock various buildings at the cost of maintenance or at the reduction of maintenance, depending on whether or not you overclock or underclock. So that's it. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm just rehashing Rise of Industry as a whole. But I will say I do like the new theme. $10. Chances are, if you already have this game, you're probably already going to buy this anyway. But for those of you that do have the game and are on the fence about buying this DLC, it doesn't add new gameplay per se. It just adds new looks, new skins. It feels like a city skylines. Oh, here's the cyberpunk buildings instead of the normal buildings or whatever. But I do like the new... yes, it's a reskin, but I also like the new resources. So instead of cows and berries, you're dealing with cellulose algae and other robotic things. So, it's an all new set of materials and products that, if you're tired of the other stuff, then, hey, you may want to buy this DLC and play with something new. But for the most part, it's the same interface, same type of gameplay, same type of business mechanics, same type of gameplay modes, campaign, sandbox, all that jazz. The ease of which you can take a look at the global market and determine what you might want to go after. There's your shop overviews, so if you want to see what Gaia is currently purchasing or needs or has a need for demand, take a look at these different stores. Since I'm next to New York, it behooves me to take a look at this from time to time to see what they want, what's currently in demand, what the prices are like. Recipe book, tech tree, I already showed you. Production overview, just pick something that you're currently producing, and there's everything that so there's lots of ways to track what you're doing in this game. Yes, it can still be a bit overwhelming. If you haven't played Rise of Industries before, I would say buy Rise of Industries. If you're interested in buying it, buy the core game first, see if it's the game that you like. See if it's something that you can stomach or handle if you don't think it's too complicated, and you like the gameplay, then maybe check out the DLC for $10, this one, $21.30, just to, possibly get into something else once you're done with the core game. But you don't want to buy both. If you're new to Rise of Industry, I would hold off on buying both Rise of Industry and the DLC, because what if you don't like the core game? If you don't like the core game, you're not going to like this. But if you do like the core game, then you're probably going to like this. You're going to probably like it for the reskin and everything else and the new products. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Rise of Industry as a whole, so I do like this DLC as well. Again, $10 for a reskin, and of course, instead of certain products, you're dealing with completely different products. But, so is it worth it? It depends on how badly you want a reskin and how much you want something different in your gameplay. So I guess with that being said, if you guys want to see a full playthrough at some point, maybe I'll stream it. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.